All right, here we go. Ready to dive into something new today? Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That's what we're tackling. I can already feel the energy. You know, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or BJJ, is not just a martial art. It's something deeper. It's a mindset, a philosophy. And the beauty of it is, no matter where you start, it's going to challenge you, humble you, and ultimately transform you if you let it. I remember the first time I learned that a smaller person could use leverage and technique to take down someone much larger. It blew my mind. Like, how could that even be possible? But that's the essence of BJJ. It completely flips the script on what you think you know about fighting. It challenges this old-school idea that brute strength and power always win. It's not about that. It's about strategy, about using your body and mind together. And once you get into it, you realize that the whole idea of BJJ is about solving problems. It's like a game of chess, but with your body. And speaking of chess, think about the concept of positional dominance. In BJJ, where you are on the mat matters. It's not random, and it's definitely not just about surviving. Imagine a chessboard. Now, imagine those chess pieces are positions. Guard, mount, side control. Each of these positions has its own strategic value. They're not just places to be. They're keys that can unlock your ability to win or lose. Being on your back, for example, might look like a weak position to someone who doesn't know any better. But in BJJ, from your back, you can control the fight. You can sweep, you can submit, you can dominate. I love that about BJJ. It teaches you that even when you're seemingly on the defensive, you're never out of the fight. You're always playing this strategic game, setting traps, controlling distance, and waiting for the right moment to strike. It's brilliant. And the way BJJ focuses on transitioning between phases of combat, moving from striking range to clinch to ground, gives you this fluidity, this adaptability that no other martial art quite captures in the same way. But, of course, BJJ isn't just physical. The mental side of it is just as demanding. You're not just learning how to control an opponent. You're learning how to control yourself, your mind, your emotions, your reactions. There's a quote that always resonates with me. Thus, the student grows in terms of individual responsibility. That's what BJJ is all about. It's about taking responsibility for your own growth, both on and off the mat. You can't just read about BJJ and think you'll understand it. You've got to get on the mat. You have to feel it. You have to experience it. Test yourself against a resisting opponent. It's in those moments that you learn the most, not just about BJJ, but about yourself. Every time you step onto that mat, you're facing a mirror. You see your strengths, but more importantly, you see your weaknesses. And that's where the real growth happens. BJJ humbles you. There's no room for ego because it will humble you real quick. It teaches you to be patient, to be disciplined. The process is slow, and there will be days when you feel like you're not making any progress, but that's part of the journey. One of the most fascinating things about BJJ is how it's constantly evolving. Look at the rise of MMA. In the early days of UFC, BJJ was unstoppable. It was like the secret weapon no one saw coming. But then, fighters started to adapt. They began to cross-train, to learn grappling. And suddenly, BJJ wasn't the only game in town. So, it had to evolve too. And that's what makes it so exciting. It's always changing, always refining itself. There's this constant push to innovate, to adapt, to stay one step ahead. If you're listening to this and thinking, man, I want to give BJJ a try, my advice? Do it. Find a good gym, a place with experienced instructors who prioritize safety and learning. Don't worry about knowing everything. In fact, expect to not know anything at first. That's okay. Everyone starts as a white belt. Everyone feels lost in the beginning. But that's part of the beauty of BJJ. It's a journey, and every small victory, every little improvement fuels you to keep going. And remember, BJJ is about more than just fighting. It's about personal growth. The discipline you develop, the problem-solving skills, the resilience, all of that stays with you outside the gym. BJJ teaches you how to face challenges head-on, how to push through discomfort, and how to adapt when life throws you off balance. I think that's why BJJ resonates so deeply with so many people. It's not just a martial art, it's a way of life. So, if you're even slightly curious, take that step. Find a gym, get on the mat, and see what BJJ can do for you. It might just change your life.